Dreamers Welcome Podcast.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. We are back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I go by CEO PESO, blessed and highly favored. Hope y'all feeling amazing and great. I have a special person sitting next to me right now. Innovator. She gave us classic nights in Dayton, Ohio. She has some of the most amazing food. She is a entrepreneur. She is a owner. She is a founder of so many, and she is a wonderful, blessed individual with a huge heart, and I mean it. Y'all can run it back if you don't hear me. She's a great person. Please introduce yourself for the people.
My name is Jasmine Brown. I'm the owner of Delish Cafe.
There it is, Delish Cafe. The owner, like I said, she gave us classic nights, classic food, and yeah, just good memories in the city. How are you?
I'm great. I'm actually a little tired today because I've been ripping and running all week. But other than that, I'm blessed. I'm very grateful right now.
I'm pretty sure it's a good reason to be tired.
Yeah, it's a good reason.
Yeah.
You know, just I'm not complaining. Just a fact. That's all. You know.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come up here to chop it up with me. Yeah. So a lot to talk about. Some things I want to pinpoint, but I like to start off with just people who don't know you. What is it that you exactly do?
So, oh gosh, what do I do?
You never thought of that?
I never thought about that.
You be just doing it through life.
I just go through life. Yes, life be lifing, and I just roll with it.
Life be lifing.
Yes, and I roll with it. But no, so I am basically the owner, like I said, of the restaurant, and I have a food truck as well. Mm-hmm. I have two wonderful children that are just amazing. Like, I couldn't ask for better kids.
Ain't that a blessing when they
That is a whole blessing.
Shouts out to my son, Capo. I love you. He's the sweetest person ever. But it's like, man, some kids be like,
yeah.
How do you wake up to that?
Right. I don't know that. I don't know that.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that my kids are perfect, because we have our ups and our downs, or our little, whatever little spats, but nothing serious. My kids are older. 21, about to be 22, and then 24, and my daughter will be 25 at the end of this year. Okay. So they're just amazing humans, and I'm grateful
Raised
for that.
Them right.
Yeah. I had good help. Period. I had great help.
Period. Shouts out to the help.
Yes, yeah. I had a great partner. But so I run my food truck, which food truck season is coming up right now. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm only gonna do like events. I won't like really do a lot of just pop outs how I did before, even though I love them. Right now, just trying to juggle that and the food hall it's a lot, so I'm trying to
balance. I always
gotta find balance, and I want to find it early on.
And I know you feel like creative ideas on how you gonna try to do it though, so like I already know that. So you said food truck season though, so you talking about like, is that like a nationwide thing, or you just talking about just in the city alone?
Well, in like for Midwest, so like we get winter. So we pack up, pretty much don't do too much just in this Midwest. Mm-hmm. Some people do. They hustle all year long on their truck, and I salute them, because don't let it look real cute and pretty, because the food truck business is not for the faint.
Right.
It ain't for the weak. It ain't for the I ain't sure. It's nah, you either committed or you not.
Right.
So,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But yeah, so for us, the food truck season is because the weather is turning now, so we can get back out, festivals, things like that, outdoor events. So
that's the thing. I love dating, but that's the thing. Like when I be here in the winter, with the videography and everything, it just slows down because work be so scarce. Mm-hmm. When it get cold out. I mean, business period though. So that's how I kind of look at it though. That's why I like living in more.
Okay, so we got to figure out what we can do like for videographers and stuff in the wintertime in the Midwest to make some more money.
Nah, for sure. I mean, because it's not even that many buildings up here to work inside or do stuff. So, as a videographer, I'm trying to figure that out, because I was shooting in like -2-degree weather like a couple months ago. I'm like, man, fuck this. It was like anything for the shot, but sheesh. Nah, but so your background, Where you was born and raised? How's your upbringing?
I'm a Dayton native. I've been here all my life. Besides when I was a kid, we lived in like Minnesota for like maybe some months or something like that. But I pretty much here. I went to several different elementary schools because I kind of ping ponged around my family. We moved a lot for a little bit, and I ended up at Fairport Middle School. So I went there. I'm a Dolphin.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Put it out there.
Put it out there. I went to Meadowdale High School. I graduated from there. And I've been here ever since. Like, I never left. As many times as I've tried.
What do you mean tried?
I think, well, the first one, or big one, was when we opened up our restaurant. We literally was about to move. That May of 2010. Willie was like, yeah, you know, we was moving. We moving to Columbus. Not saying I'm out to stay, but, you know, it's a foot out the door. I was like, it's a foot out the door. That's all I said.
Straight
foot
about
out the
70.
door.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he asked about the opening a restaurant that year, that month. Like, and that was like, oh, no. And I was like, no. Like,
wait, so the initial ask, so
it was a no. It was a
random,
flat no.
It was a random, like, let's open a restaurant.
It was a random, like, because two of his business friends, his business partners, they wanted to open up a restaurant, and one of their sisters was moving back from California. She was a chef, and they was like, oh, let's open up this restaurant. So you and two of your homeboys be like, hey, let's open up a restaurant.
Right.
And then he come to me and say, babe, let's open a restaurant. I'm like, we moving.
Nah, stick to the script.
Like, but how does this
like,
don't even
come on
make
now,
sense?
what happened to our plans?
What happened to our plan, dude? Like, no, like the answer was a fuck hard no. No. And then, but he asked me like several times, like, and then I realized like how serious he was and how important it was to him. And I was like, dang, like, all right, God. I was like, I guess I'm here.
Put Columbus on the back burner.
Yes, I'm gonna put it on the back burner, and I just went along with it. Like, you know, if we gonna do it, we gonna do it, and we gonna do it well.
So, was that one of the most like unknown best decisions you could have made?
That was probably the best time that, far as with me and him, just have our relationship. I feel like that decision, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that those few no's turned into a yes.
Right.
That was one of the best decisions that I ever made in my life.
Clutch.
Yeah.
Man, so Dayton, born and raised. What is it that you appreciate about Dayton? What do you love about Dayton?
I love the way, like, the artists here, like, the entrepreneurs, how we hustle so hard, how we move about it in a way that nobody else moves about it. I appreciate the artistry of the city, like, everybody who steps out and believes on themselves, like, because I know how much that takes.
Right.
Like, and our city is full of it. It's just, it's full of, like, just dope people. Although it is small. It is very small, so it comes with a,
it's an advantage, but then it's kind of like, it can be like oversaturated certain times. Yeah. But Dayton do got some hustle though. Like many places I've been, when people do, if they are fond of Dayton, they give us our respect. Yeah. Not just for the music, just like Dayton, a dope city. And honestly, that kind of put me in perspective. Like I always rep Dayton where I was at, but I came up in the era like, man, we got to get out of here. Like how you was like, let's move. Yeah. I was like, man, like, I got to get out of here. Like I don't know, but that was so back then. But you know, I took a liking to understand. Like man, Dayton. All you knew was dope, but just getting on the outskirts and hearing it from people. It's like, nah, man, we always had fly drip. We always had our own type thing. But like you said, with the creators, the artists, and people, like we go in.
Yeah, like, we go hard.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, I look at you and all the things that you've been doing. It's just like I have a good circle around me right now. Like everybody is just moving and shaking and doing something like dope, like, and that makes me proud to be in a city like that. Like,
I'm just glad. I appreciate you too. I'm just glad I'm able to be a part of like the visionary process of it. Like putting people on. I remember the first time you hit me up, you had bought a chef.
JR, Chef JR.
I still follow him to this day.
Yeah.
He was like, I need you to come up here. He a big time.
Man. And
he going crazy.
Listen, one of the worst decisions of my life. Hello, I had an opportunity to invest. It was only $50,000, and I would have been owner in his brand. Yeah, like that was one of the worst decisions. So sometimes, but my husband had just passed. Willie had just passed, not too long, and I was kind of weary about trusting people. But had I not been that, I would have took that. Yeah, I mean,
but you had some crazy blessings come your way too. But now he is going up though. That's crazy. But I remember you was like, he coming in, he do this and that, and then. I appreciate you for that plug. Unknowingly, you plugged me because me and him got to talking, and he just was dropping so many gems, and it just was like, and the food was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. Like it just.
That's one thing I love about when I get jobs like that. Like, oh yeah, and we get to taste the dishes.
Yes.
Run it. Nah.
I love it. Birthdays is always a big thing for me, and I always love doing something different, and it's gonna always include food, like always. Always.
So opening Delish. How difficult was that process? Because y'all had a scenic place downtown, like it was amazing, everything. Like, but the process of getting it going.
In all reality, it was not that hard. It wasn't. We talked about it in May. We found a place, signed a lease the end of July. We opened up in December.
So
it was God. It was God. It was God.
Yeah.
That was God.
Like renovations and everything.
That was God. Like when we opened, floors, everything beautiful. Like it was no jokes. It was like, hey, like stick to the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was not really a plan at all. No, but I mean,
you just going with the flow, learning as you go.
Yeah.
Like I said, y'all, that place gave us so many memories, and like I said, with the club nights, and then just I think y'all was doing brunch. It was a lot of shit going on. Shouts out that you was letting people host. It was like game nights. It was crazy. Like, I'm just bigging up the list because it was like just a dope place to go to. But then Delish went away from us.
Yeah.
What happened?
It did. We closed in 2018. Someone bought our building. It was bought. And even before that, I wanted to close a little bit. Like I was just going through so much. And after Willie passed, and it was like 2 years after, and I was like, "Dang, I held on. I didn't do good," but I knew I needed something slower pace for me as well, just me being by myself. So it was such a blessing in disguise. Like I don't hold any like mad feelings or angry or anything like that. It was like a beautiful space.
Yeah.
Like all the memories like in people's timelines when I see stuff pop up, and I'm just like wow, like I'm a part of Dayton history. Like that is
definitely
like, to me, I don't acknowledge it as much as I should, but I'm learning to. Like, that's pretty dope,
Yeah. I mean, because, and condolences to losing him as well, because it sounded like, you had to take on, like, a 2-man job doing that.
Yeah.
But,
it was a lot. It was a lot.
But it just, I don't know, like, it just sounded like you didn't really have no ill or nothing of, like, it was closing, because it just sounded like you was just trying to live two different personalities. Like you handling the business, your personality within being within that owner and all of that. Yeah.
And that's a lot. Like it's really a lot because most people know you as your business.
Yep.
So then you gotta go home and be mom.
Right.
Like
real.
That's real tough.
Like reality hit. The business is reality, but then you got to go home and still, be the mother. And
And you trying to figure out being the mother and then being Jasmine. You trying to figure out who Jasmine is at the same time because this is all new to you.
Right.
It's so new. So it was a lot, but it taught me a lot as well, as far as different experiences and how to deal with life and things that you can't change. So
building get bought out. I'm assuming you took some time to yourself, self-reflection.
Yes.
And then wait, did you have a food truck during when you had the establishment, or the food truck came like?
Food truck came during COVID.
Right. Okay. That was how I was gonna go into it. So let's talk
COVID.
about like the reasoning. Like, what was the spark of like, damn, I need a food truck.
So I thought about getting a food truck. Actually, I went to buy a food truck before. Let's get that straight. In 20, I think either might be 18, something like that. It was before COVID. A guy beat me out on some money for a truck, which was some.
Why you look at the camera like that? You wanted to see this?
Yes.
You look
Because
right at
we
the
make
camera.
mistakes. I don't want y'all to think like, hey, she perfect, she this. Like, no, I make mistakes. You trust people, and that's real life. Like, you learn from it and you dust yourself off. And guess what? I got a food truck anyway.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Let's go. Let's go.
I've been wanting since like right after the restaurant closed. Was gonna get one, didn't get one. 2020 comes. My son just comes home from school. He was at Columbia in Chicago for film. And he was like, yeah, he told me this very philosophical reason why he wanted to come home. And I was like, okay, come home. December, what was that, 2019. I start working down at Tay's marketplace, Tay Winston, her marketplace. She's like, yeah, you could sell, egg rolls down here. And I'm like, I'm not doing that, and I really do need a job probably because I hadn't been working. I had it, but my life was situated in a way where I didn't have to.
But you was chilling.
But I was chilling,
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, my son's off to college, I do probably just need to go get a job. I actually started applying for places, but at the same time, I was praying to God, like, God, I really don't want to work for nobody.
Yeah,
like,
This schedule.
But I'm just letting you know, I'm humble enough to get a job.
Like if I gotta get dirty, back to it, the basics.
I'll go get a job.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Then, like I said, Tay Winston opened up the marketplace that 2019 December, and I started selling egg rolls. And then right to 2 months in, that's when COVID hit, and I continued to sell egg rolls, and I made a lot of money. I did.
So you were just literally slinging egg rolls.
Egg rolls, pasta, and on the weekends.
Okay.
But egg rolls. That was it. Egg rolls.
Egg rolls.
Egg rolls.
Point blank period.
Point blank period.
Made a
Soul
fortune
rolls.
off
I'm
egg
sorry.
rolls. Yeah, I'm about to say
Delish
soul rolls.
Soul rolls specifically.
Made a fortune off the soul rolls during the pandemic.
Yeah.
All right. So.
And I was like, hey, I need me a truck. Because there was a lot going on, summertime coming, and we was back to being kind of open. And I went and got me a truck, and I didn't even know how to drive a truck. I'm gonna say I didn't know how to drive a truck.
I better say that's like automatic.
I had never put it like this. I had never driven a food truck. I had never operated a food truck. I had never done. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to get this food truck, and we about to make it work.
So you kind of just dove into it, like get a food truck, and really didn't have too much knowledge of.
No. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Trial and error. God damn it.
That's how we started the restaurant. I never worked in a restaurant a day in my life or food industry until we opened that restaurant. I didn't know nothing about working in a restaurant. I mean, it couldn't be too hard, but I just, yeah.
I mean, because you got to look at the back. I mean, I don't know shit about, food business, but I would assume that obviously the logistics on the back end is harder. But yeah, just serving food and, a dope setting and dope food. Yeah. It ain't too crazy. No. So who's coming up with these dishes? Like how are you creating the menus?
So the menus originally was between our old chef and all of us, like the original founders of the restaurant. A lot of it like Soul Rolls came from Chef Mark Brown. I met him the year that we opened, because we were doing a birthday party, like the week that we opened. And the lady wanted to have soul rolls. And she's like, can I bring these egg rolls to, my birthday party? And I was like, no, we're a restaurant.
Right.
Like, she's like, well, I want you to meet the guy who makes them that's really good. And maybe 5 months later, he became my second chef. Yeah.
So it was like an undeniable, like, damn, this motherfucker is a hit.
Yeah.
Slap it on the menu.
It changed. It's changed over the years. Now it's strictly, it's everything like far as if you're making a recipe and want to quote a recipe, it is my recipe now, which I'm very grateful for.
So that's like your signature though.
Yes, that's our signature.
I mean, all the other food is amazing, but
it's great. Yeah,
but the soul rolls.
Yeah, it's a must
soul rolls
have.
got you through the pandemic.
Absolutely,
and you had to keep it going.
And I was like, I need a food truck.
Yeah,
and in the middle of actually at the beginning of the pandemic, that's when they came to me, approached me about doing a food hall. So, which is
great
open
segue.
now. Yeah.
What is it? West Social
Table.
Tap.
Yep. It's I call it the social.
Yeah. So basically you was rolling so heavy, and so the city approached you of like they want you to be a part of this social.
Right.
So explain that process though. Like when it came out to you, was you kind of like?
I was actually in the marketplace when I was selling egg rolls.
Wait.
Yes.
They came to you to the marketplace?
Yes, they came to me to the marketplace. I ain't gonna lie, I was excited because I mean it gave me some type of hope because like we was just starting a pandemic, we didn't know what was going on. I was like, but they about to build this food hall. We gonna figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
So but I just took it as God again telling me that you're supposed to be here. Mm-hmm. Like you maybe not fully, and that's a whole nother thing, a plan of me being here sometime and gone sometime, and that me finding that balance. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when they came, I honestly was humbled. I was honored. I was very grateful. Like, wow.
That's
David's
dope.
first food hall.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then that's another staple. You go from downtown and now right down Third.
Right down Third.
Now, so in the midst of like before all of that came, did you even have any like desire to try to get another establishment building or anything?
I actually own a building downtown on East Third in the fire blocks.
Talk that talk.
And
talk that talk now.
Yeah, I do.
I could have did this if I wanted to.
Yeah. And I've owned it now. It's been like almost 9 years. So, and I have 2 sets of blueprints. So I'm working on that. I'm like in the very beginning stages of it. But it's not a full service restaurant. Like right now where I'm at in my life, I probably would never do another like big full service restaurant. I can do like a small 40-seater, something you
more
find
intimate,
in New York.
more,
Exactly. Just because the way I like to intermingle with my guests. Like I am a people person and I do love socializing as well. That helps me be here.
Right.
Like, like something like that. So I'm working on that. That is the goal. And then I'm working on a park. It's a small park.
Cool. What, you gonna name it after yourself?
No. Actually, I'm a name it after Willie. Okay. It's gonna be
legacy
for him.
Going
legacy.
On.
Yes,
yeah.
That's a big thing. Like just everything I do is like legacy. What can I live on to do? What is going to live on after me? All of that stuff. Like that's important. So,
for sure. I love that thought process. I gotta think more like that. I'll be so in the moment, just trying to live in the present, but I don't know. Then if I look back, I do got like some accolades and some stuff to live on.
Some like, dude, you got a lot. Like, quit playing.
No, I'm a very I'm so humble though.
You
but because it's always like just a next level to take it. It's just like focusing on that. I ain't gonna say I'll ever forget the past, but it's just like, man, how do I get there?
Yeah.
Like I've been around some people that was like, what the fuck? Like this is crazy. But nah, I mean, but the legacy do matter, and that's dope that you thinking in that aspect of what's gonna be here after you gone.
Yeah,
which is dope.
Somebody just asked my cooks the other day, my staff, like she don't be doing nothing, like we don't even see her here. He like, if you don't understand, like sometimes she work harder than us, like that's just different. Like, buddy, I think this is, I don't know, maybe they just.
No, I mean, people just, they see it on the outside. I mean, that sounds like some envious jealousy type thing. Whether it's like 1% or 100%, it's still jealous, you bitches. Anyways. So, with the social, do you think that was a great move for Dayton to put that together? Yes,
I absolutely do. One, it it shows how community can come together. That's like the best thing about it. And then also too, it shows other people who are wanting to invest in our city on that side of town to take a chance and say, oh, okay, yeah, let me see if this works. And it may not be a food hall, but it may be an apartment building, or it may be some type of other business, but it shows you like, you know, the potential of that side of the city, which I absolutely love.
I noticed that too. Like, I've been going in there now, and I've noticed, you know, shouts out to the Caucasians, but I'm pretty sure like they ain't never been on that side of the bridge, or even that close down on that side of 3rd Street.
And not a long time, absolutely.
Because it's right by the Wright brothers. It's in a very...
It's such a beautiful location.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure,
like that's one of the reasons why I was excited about going in there, because it's like ideal.
Historic.
It's historic, and it's ideal. Like it's still West Dayton. It's still West Dayton, and that is like the biggest thing. Like, no, I don't care if it's the beginning of West Dayton or the middle or the end. It's West Dayton. Yep. Like, you're gonna have to come to West Dayton to get this food.
For sure. And they got the different, because I definitely want to, you know, it's funny, I come in there, I'll be like, I look right over to the left of you. I'm like, and I see Illie's. I'm like, damn, who do I go to? I'm like, shit. I'm like, I'm gonna have to start I'm gonna come here on Tuesday, Thursday.
So much stuff. I mean, and that's the good thing about it. That's what it shows, like the diversity in food.
The Filipino joint, I want to try them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely diverse in there. And then I want to shine light too, because I just dropped Illy's episode, and you pulled him in because he said on the episode, he was like, yeah, Jazz was like, they looking for like, I guess specifically like they wanted pizza in there. They wanted
pizza, and I was like, I know somebody.
Yeah.
It's like one of them things, you know. Hopefully, you know, I'm around somebody who knows somebody one day and mentions me. Like that's important.
Yeah. So even with that though, like they came and approached you, but then it sounded like you became part of like help curating the whole thing. For being able to have that pool to be like, hey, I know somebody.
I won't say the whole thing.
Well, I mean, your input matters.
But my input matters.
Yeah.
I feel valued. That's one thing, you know, I do. I feel valued there. Initially, it you know, you go through the growing pains. We've only been open, a little bit over 8 months now. So we're still new. I'm learning a lot about being in a space where you're, you know, working with other people and having to adapt to different things and to make everything work for the you know, greater good. But it's a beautiful setting. Like, to see the people, the community that comes together. Like, to me, that's all worth it for me. So now I can be like, okay, that's good. Let me try to go figure out this other stuff.
Yep. So we was talking, and you know some things about dating that's changing.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be for the greater good? Is it gonna?
I think the way of the city, ultimately, like where our heart is definitely going to be good. I think people have to look at things a little bit differently, and not only that, they have to be willing to put in the work too. Like, if you're complaining about how the city is going, or you don't like how it's going, what are you doing to be a part of the, you know, the solution? I'm solution oriented. Where there's a problem, let's find the solution. That's just how I operate. So with the city, they're finding the things that are wrong, and they're actually reaching out to people and asking the city, asking the citizens, what do you guys want to see? And that's why they're like starting to tear down a lot of the old abandoned homes. I'm going to tell you right now, get in there, and however you can get some land, get some land. Like, I own several properties, pieces of land. Hence, I'm opening a park on 3rd Street,
right,
and it's zoned commercial, but I could throw a building up there. But right now, I'm going to do a park, you know, something to continue on. So right after the food hall on that next block, you know, you got Chase Bank right there, the Northern ATM. Then the other piece of land is owned by like the National Parks
that big
Recreation.
ass lot right there.
It's a little something. Then I have a piece of that lot before you get to the barber shop. So that's going to be a park, you know, and it's continuing like businesses or beautification down, like
going into the city.
Going into the city.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Down
so
part.
it's, you want to be a part of the solution. You know, how can that, you know, we have a cigar lounge that's coming across the street.
Word.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
dope, black
yeah,
owned. It's yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it's a blessing, like, and that ties into me being on West Third and then me being on East Third.
Right.
So like I'm a part of this and I'm a part of that.
For sure.
Yeah.
So do you think, you know, in terms of like, people might be like, okay, now the city care, but do you think they should have started doing this sooner, or is it perfect timing?
I think right now the timing is perfect because, you know, when we had those tornadoes, it showed me how our city could come together, because we came together like that was but it was so beautiful, because when you look at it, out of all of that, people lost homes, and don't get me wrong, I am not downplaying any of that, but God blessed us with nobody dying from all of that.
Yeah,
like that's what people downplay.
Yeah.
They downplay all of that. They put that into, and it's like, oh, but they lost this, and a lot of people regained a lot of things, you know, and they moved on and they built even more beautiful homes and
apartment complexes, everything.
Absolutely, and nobody died from that. So when I look at that, I'm like, oh wow, God, you trying to figure something out, like.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna say, I mean, the word stagnant came in my head, but the city was kind of just slightly selfish.
Yeah,
like
no more than slightly. It was.
Trying to not to do like, but yeah, it just was like, it was an era where I feel like, you know, everybody was kind of just doing their own thing and you know, trying to be the best of what they doing it at.
And it wasn't even like survival mode. It was just, I'm just gonna do it. Yeah. It wasn't that. But after that, it just showed me like how we could all pull together. And now I hope that when people see like, oh, guess what, this food hall, well, let me come together. I own a building, or me and my homeboys about to go buy this building, and we about to do this. We about to put
to level up
this. You know, like it's really that simple. Cause I could guarantee you that, you know, you and I know at least on two hands people that could have came together
for sure
and said, oh, let's do this
easy,
oh, let's put this together. But the thing is, you still can, because it's not like this is gonna be the only food hall. It's supposed to be multiples. Like, I got a call from my food consultant, and she asked me about a food hall that she's doing, you know, just a general question, and it made me feel good that she's calling me, asking me something.
Yeah, getting your
you know,
expertise
like,
on it.
Yeah, you know, I felt I was again humbled. Like, nigga, you know, I kind of do know a little bit.
I mean, you're an icon, and you're somebody that has been so with the shits of everything. Like, you figured it out. You was thriving in it, and it made sense. It made the city look good. It gave people to do something. So it's like, why not ask somebody that already had it going?
Right.
Like, you that nigga. Nah, so
thanks.
So with everything that's, you know, that's building up in the city, what's something ideal that you personally would want to see? Like, with everything that you already see going on now, what's something that you would personally want to see go on or happen?
That's a good question.
Thank you. Because you know a lot.
Ooh, one thing I would love to see is more programs with young girls growing up to learn trade, like the emphasis, something, and maybe this is a business that somebody starts, or maybe there might be one starting or there right now, but I feel like the young girls here in our city, they need to know, like, look, you could be a plumber, you could be an electrician, you could lay the floor, you could do all of that, and you're going to be able to set your own hours. It's just so many benefits of having a trade. You don't have to just go to hair school. Not knocking hair school, because I went to hair school. Like, I have my cosmetology license. I let them lapse, but I manage in cosmetology. I've done a lot. Like, I've done a lot. I'm on the cleaning company. I've done so many different things. So I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit in me. So just to teach the women here, like there's so many different things. Don't just think that you have to be a girly girl to be an entrepreneur. You have to pick that. Like, so something like that, I think, to focus on our youth, whatever, anything that adds value to our youth. Like I would love to see, so this was my idea one time. I wanted to buy the old library on Salem, right there where Colonel White used to be, because it's a beautiful, beautiful building.
Ain't that library? Wait, did they close that?
Somebody bought it.
Okay.
And yes, somebody bought it. And
yeah,
but
it's
historical, just beautiful, just architecture wise, like
it's vintage.
It's vintage.
Yeah, bricks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yep.
I wanted to do a art students. Our arts like perform like place for kids where they could have a studio in there where they could learn how to do rap. They could go in and do poetry. Then some type of art where somebody comes in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They teach art. Somebody local, all of this going in. Even like maybe a little studio where kids can do like a performance, something like that. That we don't have. We don't have that.
So basically, just a more for the youth, like. More creative, like something for them. Like I mean, because
an outlet.
Yeah, I mean, because at this point, like I ain't gonna say it's easy to be creative, but it's way more like tangible to get into learning this. And with either you can go to YouTube or you can go to people like us who can be able to teach them how.
Exactly, and that's the way you give back. Yeah,
because my son, like he be seeing me do podcasts, like kids now, like you're a YouTuber, and it's like, I mean, yeah, but to them it's like damn, but now they be like, how do you do that and da da da. So, but yeah, I mean that made me think I need to start doing more like that, but yeah, I mean, because I be trying to be in tune with like going on in the city, but I guess I haven't seen too much of that.
Yeah.
And more permanent being like that though.
Yeah.
You might want to pitch that to the panel.
Yeah, I'm just saying we need it. We definitely need it.
Wait, so going back real quick, because you say you own businesses and cosmetology license. Like for you, when did entrepreneurship start for you to like be like I gotta?
I think it was probably when after I had my kids, or after I had my daughter, probably, because it was like I don't want to work for nobody. Like I like to be in that home with my daughter, with my kids, my baby. Like I liked being able to make sure I'm there. That was the most important thing to me. Is like you can maneuver and choose a life that is conducive to your own lifestyle. And to me, I wanted to be home with my kids, and that was very feasible because I had a mate who took care of the household for the most part, and I could work if I wanted to work. And then it was like when I did want to work, I'm gonna work for myself.
Yeah, easy.
yeah.
I'm because I can't do it. I remember the last job I had, and like I don't know, like. To me, it made sense of like working here is taken away from my opportunities being out there. Right. Like people, no knocking anybody that's like working whatever, but I just feel like I couldn't be like, man, I can't make it to this out of town gig because I can't call off
here. Yeah.
Fuck that. Like, I don't want to miss no opportunity. I think that's how I did get through where I got to now, just because I looked at it like I can't miss any opportunity, whether it's small or big, whether it's a picture to where I was in Miami and I only was there shooting for a little bit or whatever the perception, but it's just like, I got to build my brand and I don't want to miss an opportunity because I'm worried about working for the man.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing in life. I always wanted to give my kids opportunities. Yeah. And as a parent, that's what I always strive for. And I'm able to do that. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm doing that by working for myself. That it creates so many different opportunities. I've met so many people that I would have probably never met I could have moved to Columbus when I think about it now. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to be working for somebody probably for a quick little second until I figure it out. And then
on top of that, like, you figured it out here where it's so, to me, I feel like it's very tough to thrive in a city of dating like this, because I used to think it was like I ain't tapping in too deep, but like I would talk to like, you know, some people older than me, and they'll just be like, man, dating is such a tough place when they was growing up, and this was like 90s.
Right.
And it's like ain't nothing changed since the 90s, is like how tough dating is.
Oh yeah.
And for you, or I mean, I gotta big myself up too to set the example of like, nah, you could thrive here.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge fucking deal. Like if you like really sit down and pinpoint it, and like, nah, you can actually make it here.
Yeah, you
look at the examples.
Exactly, right. Yeah. I've been here all my life. You've been here, you know. And the thing is that there's so many more of us that are making it.
Yeah.
And I love to see that. That's one big thing I do love that I feel like I've seen in the last really 3 years now since COVID has came. Like I've seen so many entrepreneurs just like blossom, and it's like, wow. Yeah. Like had that not happened, who knows how long it would have taken for this person to reach this, or this person to step out on faith and say, oh yeah, my job don't want me no more. I'm you know, having to stay at home. And now it's like, oh, I might as well work for myself.
Yeah. You looking at an alternative of like, I just do this shit myself rather than.
And as Black people, we just know how to make it anyway.
Man, listen.
Let's just be honest.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. Like, we're going to definitely figure it out. So it's like that right there gives me a good outlook on what the city it can be. And it's like, y'all seen us out here at this food hall, come on, let's get it. Like y'all should be saying, oh, let's open this, let's open that. Like
it's like it's possible.
It's possible. Yeah, it's 140 I think 1,042,000 people in the city a day. I cannot possibly feed 5% of that on a daily basis.
Right. But
that's what I'm saying. It's money for everybody.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Here and there.
Yeah, it is. You know.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's next? I mean, we got the park going. We got the
park going.
The building.
The park and the building. Like the building is the biggest thing. Like that's the biggest thing because I want to do a bed and breakfast right there. And this is probably like not even probably, it's the biggest project I've ever did in my life. So
let's go. You can take on whatever, goddamn it.
Yeah, you know, so I'm trying to put, like a real estate mogul on the list. That's
I see that coming. I mean, you already cop a building, so
and that's the thing. When Willie passed, I had like 12 different properties, so I was doing a lot. I was the landlord, I was the restaurant owner, I was the mom, and I'm trying to be Jasmine or figure her out. So it was like, no, when we closed, it was not like, it was like, okay, God, thank you. Yeah, like
let me breathe a little bit.
My son literally, when I made the post, because I went to Paris for a week in June that year, and when I came back, this is not my life problem. It's not. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. So I was in Paris for a week. I came back, stayed for a day. I flew to New York to a concert, and then came back. This is her life. No. And then when I got home that next day, I had laid in the bed. I was tired, and I literally typed up a message. I hit send, and I had closed my business on social media. That was like, nobody was like, oh, waiting for it or knew, or they knew it was just like, it came to me, and it was like, because this was in June or July, the first beginning of July. I was having to close anyway because in October my lease was up. I knew they wasn't renewing my lease because the company had bought the building. I was already on basically like a month to month in a sense. They wanted me to be on a month to month. I'm like a restaurant. Like, hey, I can't live on a month to month lease.
Right,
like,
you need some security.
Yeah, I was like, I need a little bit secure. And that's when I got my wheels turning and talked to one of the attorneys in the building. They said, they're about to sell the building. And I was like, okay, I need at least a year. I renegotiated my lease. I'm like, look, I'm gonna pay my rent every 3 months. I'm gonna pay up 3 months at a time. So that's how I got to get my lease for a year, for a whole nother year. So they like, oh, okay, you gonna pay your rent. And so when it was time for me to close, it was just like, I'm gonna do this how I want to do it. I ain't waiting till the end of October and just like, a
graceful
I'm good.
exit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the dope thing is like, at least it wasn't, it was fuckery of them buying the building that shut you down. It wasn't anything on your end.
No.
Well, I can never see that anyways. But it just was like, you know what? All right, cool. I guess it happened at a time where you felt like you needed an unexpected break.
Yeah, and it was a great break.
Yeah.
It was a well-deserved break.
Yeah, for sure. A lot.
It was.
Okay. Yeah, we got a good time, man. So we're gonna wrap up, but everybody that's on here, I asked them, what's a good quote or a piece of advice that you live off of?
Oh, let's see here. Gosh, and I had this favorite quote, and you asked me so fast, and I drink out my little teacup. Basically, happiness is not a destination. Like, it's something that you don't get to a place where it's like, oh, I'm happy, and I'm just about to be happy for the rest of my life. It's like, no, like it's a continuing thing. You work for it every day, just like you work for everything else, like just to be happy. Like, so do what you love to do. Like, because you're going to always be happy. It's not a shortage of money anywhere. The money is there. But do what makes you happy. Like, and that's what I live by every day. Like, I'm grateful for every opportunity. I live with gratitude. I try to do some type of gratitude, something related to gratitude every day, whether it's listening to something or speaking it or doing it, an action. But just knowing that, like, that keeps me happy. So...
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
That's one of the best ones. People be having, it's no wrong answers, but that's one of the best ones because that hit me. I'm like, because I see you, I see you vibrant. Like, it's not just a social media thing. Like, every time I see you, it's like good graces. Like, you treat embracement in life like just as like it's a blessing. Like, you always just got a vibrant thing. Me, I'd be like, fuck, man, I don't feel like seeing nobody. It's just like, but I be letting too much external shit.
Days. I do have them days.
I mean, it's inevitable, but I feel like you got a better way of
like
like handling it. Me,
I know that the gift that I have right now requires me to be sociable, and so I try to make it as pleasant as possible, and I try not to let nobody else knock me off my rocker, like, because ultimately I know that I have that power. Like, I'm never gonna give that away to somebody else to, like, I might be for a second because we're human, but for the most part I move. That's how I operate.
For sure. I love it. Well, look, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your transparency. I appreciate the knowledge that you drop.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for real. Like, and I gotta get more women on here. So, I mean, that ain't the reason why, because I rock with you anyways. But cool, I want I want the female audience engaged too. Of like, you a real live entrepreneur. You turn the worst days to the best days, and like you just kept faith and social. The social. I didn't want to say social tap.
It's the social tap. Yeah.
Go get some soul rolls, or support any business in there. But I appreciate you and I thank you.
Thank you.
My darling. Dreamers Welcome Podcast. Y'all keep dreaming. We out.
Peace.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast.